From time to time, we like to catch up with the leaders of some of America's biggest companies. This morning, David Pogue talks shop with the head of a high-tech giant.
Welcome to the launch of Windows 95.
Microsoft has never been what you'd call a subtle company.
Windows 95 is so easy, even a talk show host can figure it out.
Almost 23 years ago, to promote its new Windows 95 operating system, the company hired Jay Leno as host.
And, sir, your name is? Pete. Pete, how are you, Pete? Lovely outfit. Are you single?
And made an ad starring Jennifer Aniston.
Well, what happens when you, had the old Windows and then installed Windows 95?
Under CEO Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer, his successor, Microsoft dominated the PC market and became one of the most valuable companies on Earth.
It's nice to have a business that's growing at 20%. The question is, what happens after?
But by 2014, when Satya Nadella became the third CEO in Microsoft's history, things had changed.
And we are calling it iPhone.
Smartphones had taken over the world, running software from Apple and Google. People wondered if Microsoft's best days were behind it. In his recent book, Hit Refresh, Nadella writes about his effort to change the company's culture.
My primary instinct was to be able to tell the story of change and transformation while going through it.
When one thing you talk a lot about in the book is empathy and compassion. Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer, during their tenures here, had terrific strengths as leaders, but I'm not sure, compassion would be the word that jumped out about a young Bill Gates or Steve. Am I mistaken about that?
I mean, I think, in their own way, I feel that they have a lot of that, very deep in what they did and what they're doing today. But when I think about empathy or compassion, I think it's a business essential. We are in the business of basically meeting unmet, unarticulated needs of customers. And there's no way you're going to be able to get that consistently right if you don't have that deep sense of empathy or being able to see what others are seeing.
Satya Nadella grew up in India. He moved to the U.S. in 1988 to study computer science at college. And then, in 1992, during a visit back home, he ran into Anu Venugopal, an old family friend he'd known since elementary school. And he realized she was the one.
I've known Satya all my life, so when he asked me to marry him, it felt like I was marrying my best friend.
Anu and Satya Nadella are both American citizens now. But immigration laws at the time forced them to spend the first year and a half of their marriage apart.
We wrote letters and long phone calls. I think most of Satya's paycheck went towards phone calls.
And yes. They were expensive.
They were very expensive then.
The couple knows all too well the value of empathy. Their son Zane, who's 21 now, suffers from cerebral palsy.
To be able to see the world through his eyes and then recognize my responsibility towards him, that, I think, has shaped a lot of who I am today.
The new, more inclusive Microsoft has been opening up its technology to disabled people.
Read me the headings.
I see appetizers, salads, paninis.
Product manager Angela Mills, who's legally blind, showed me Microsoft's new Seeing AI app.
So if I now hold it up...
It helps her read text,
Carrot malted. Balls.
recognize objects.
Banana.
Here, go 3 feet to your left.
Orange.
That is oranges.
Yep.
Orange.
Take picture.
And even identify people.
49-year-old man with brown hair looking happy.
Wow, it left out tall and handsome, but that's pretty close. That Microsoft app is running on an Apple iPhone. That sentence would have been unthinkable before Nadella came along.
A bunch of passionate people came together in a hackathon and said, what can we do with this amazing breakthroughs we are having in computer vision? What's the app we should build as Microsoft that can uniquely help empower people?
Kinder and gentler seems to be working. Since Nadella became CEO, the company's stock has more than doubled. And for the first time in a long time, people are calling Microsoft innovative.
All right, so go ahead and put this on.
The Microsoft HoloLens is a prime example. It's an augmented reality headset. It superimposes graphics on the world around you.
Go ahead and just look at the browser, select it, and drag up and down.
Ah.
You're an expert.
Recently, Microsoft has been in the news for more than its new technology.
I'm here today to announce that the program known as DACA that was effectuated under the Obama administration is being rescinded.
Nadella says he's had good conversations with President Trump.
We'll start with our wonderful, great genius from Microsoft who has done one hell of a job.
But he has forcefully denounced the administration's immigration policies. He's even promised to provide lawyers for any of the so-called dreamers at Microsoft who are now threatened with deportation. For this immigrant, an unlikely CEO, that's more than just a business decision. It's personal.
I always say that I'm a product of two amazingly unique American things. One is American technology reaching me where I was growing up and making it possible for me to dream. And the enlightened American immigration policy allowing me to come and live that dream. And so that's what I think makes America and American companies unique.